Welcome back to another episode of Football Tailgaters Podcast, where we talk everything about the NFL. Today we have an exciting episode. Like I said, leading up into every single episode until all the divisions we talk about are gone, we're going to be talking about the specific divisions of like NFC South, AFC South, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to be talking about their projections. That's going to be question number one. But anyways, let me introduce myself. I am Aaron, a Cowboys fan, and then I have here alongside me Andy, the unbiased football fan, and then we got Yams, the Texan Jets fan. But anyways, like I was saying, we're going to be talking about every single podcast about these division projections ongoing until, we run out of them, basically. But anyways, that's going to be one of the questions. The second question is going to be Cardinals. It was announced that they're going to be the in-season Hard Knocks team. That's exciting. And we're going to ask the question, what team would you like to see and why? And then the third question, we got Nick Foles signed with the Colts today. Should he get another chance as a starter? He's going to be competing with Matt Ryan, so that's going to be interesting. Is that going to be the Colts' best scenario for him? We'll talk about that. So I guess we can start with, let's see, we'll go backwards again, just like how we did last time. So Nick Foles, breaking news, he signed with the Colts. I haven't seen the exact money, the deal he got with the Colts, but I'm not guessing it's a lot. Should he get another chance as a starter? He's competing against Matt Ryan, and is the Colts' best scenario? Is the Colts, best fit for him? What do you guys think? Yams, you start.
I think Nick Foles was probably just like a one-hit wonder when he took over quarterback when he was with under Doug Peterson, and because that entire season with the Eagles, it was basically carried by Carson Wentz. I know it was his rookie year, and we know what Carson Wentz is now. But thinking about it, that whole season was carried by Carson Wentz by the time he went down. So I don't believe that he should be given another chance. He was given another chance before he went down as a Jaguar. But either way, I believe that either Doug Peterson prepared the Eagles team, to play around Nick Foles' strengths rather than Foles' special talent that made that team. And I think that the Colts should just stick with Matt Ryan. I'm also not sure if what kind of state the Colts are in. Are they in a win mood now? Because let's face it, Matt Ryan or Nick Foles is not really the quarterback of the future.
I think
so.
Should
they just?
They had a pretty complete team, but it's just the quarterback that's an issue because they have a good defense and I think they have good enough offense. It's just the quarterback, like I said.
It's just a quarterback that's missing. So, I know that eventually they're thinking about drafting one, right? They're gonna need one. So I just don't see them as a win it now team, and I see it more of a they should tank for a quarterback.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't
know.
With the sucky quarterback.
With the suck, because they don't have many options. It's just. I think they would have to really depend on the draft. Yeah, you might be right, but I don't know if tanking is the way to go for them right now when they have such great talent. And, it's kind of like they're wasting a year, but it's possible. I think it's possible. I do think that Nick Foles, he is capable of being a starter. He did win the Super Bowl, but that doesn't mean he's a great quarterback. But I think he's capable of making a good run. And it's perfect competition for Matt Ryan. It's veteran versus veteran. Not really too sure right now who I would pick as the better quarterback. I mean, Matt Ryan hasn't won a Super Bowl, but Nick Foles has. But Matt Ryan has been, throughout his years, a lot better than Nick Foles. So we really won't know until the training camp starts and see what they do with them. But they're both capable of being good quarterbacks, and I think they're both better than Carson Wentz, in my opinion. I think they're both better than Carson Wentz. I mean, Carson Wentz just hit his ceiling. So, you saw what he did with the Colts. He had some good, plenty of lowlights. And that's why they just had to get rid of him, because he was so bad. They just got rid of him. So I don't think Nick Foles can, I don't think it's the perfect fit for him, but it's where I guess for his options, it's the best place he could have gone, because it's an open spot right now, and it's not super competitive. It's just Matt Ryan that he's competing with, and Matt Ryan's kind of he's declining a little bit. He's still a really good quarterback, but at least he has a chance here, I think. I don't know what you think, Andy.
No, I don't think so. He actually had the opportunity, as Yam said, with the Jaguars, and he didn't do it there. He also had the opportunity actually,
with the Bears. He played with the Bears.
No. Let me go back. He actually he played very well in a season with the Eagles, and he had a phenomenal the whole touchdown interception ratio, and then he went to the Rams, and in the Rams he couldn't do it there. So the Eagles asked them back, and then they won the Super Bowl. And then his hype it's kind of like a stock thing. It's going up and down and up and down. So when he won the Super Bowl, the Jaguars needed a quarterback. They're like, hey, well, we'll take you, and they actually got him there. And the Jaguars,
it was
a big deal too. Yeah, and he didn't deliver.
Yeah.
So after that, they let him go, and now he went he's with Chicago, and I mean, he was able to compete there, and I believe in training camp and everything, and I mean he just doesn't get there. So now he's behind the Colts, I think that's a really good scenario for him. Being in the Colts, it's I think that the Colts are a good legitimate team. They're just missing their quarterback.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't tank Yams was saying.
Very
no, that's first of all, we can. They're not gonna tank at all.
All I'm saying is that they know they need a quarterback, so they're gonna end up needing one, right? Where are they gonna get one?
It's gonna be really hard for them. To tank.
Yeah, I think they have a better chance in the free agency or in the trading market.
I'm sure there's quarterbacks that would love to go into the Colts. That's like a ready team almost. I mean, they have Michael Pittman. I don't know about Alec Pierce, but they have Paris Campbell as well. They have, a top 3 running back with Jonathan Taylor. So I don't think, and they have it's been lacking a little bit, but maybe they can the O line, but they had one of the best O lines a couple years ago.
But that was the line that was built behind Andrew Luck, which is obviously, it makes sense, it's just like how Dak Prescott, Tony Romo had his line built after his end, so it's the same thing with Andrew Luck. His career was over, he retired. That O-line was still fresh, and it just declined over the years. They kind of slowly started, I guess just getting worse and worse.
No, for sure. So you know what? I don't know because they're both veterans, Matt Ryan and Foles. So I don't know what the question, what they're looking for there. Just if Matt Ryan goes down, Nick Foles can step up. The team that I think would be a good spot for Nick Foles is with the coach that actually made him have success, and that is the coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he was the coach with the Eagles.
Ain't gonna happen.
What if he goes back to the Jaguars and wins the Super Bowl, just like how you said it happened with the Eagles? That'd be funny. Too bad they have Trevor Lawrence. It's clear that they're behind with Trevor Lawrence, though, so it can't really happen.
Yeah, but in case Trevor Lawrence goes down, he can step to the occasion, and that coach knows him. Doug Peterson knows him.
Yeah.
And again, they played with his strengths and they figured things out and they won the Super Bowl. So, and he had a really good season with the Eagles too. And I don't know if it was his rookie year, but he had a really tremendous season there with the Eagles. So, I think the Jaguars would be a good spot for him as well if the Colts wasn't a place for him. I mean, I haven't seen a team he's been, like I said, with the Jaguars without Doug Peterson, with the Rams and with Chicago, and it hasn't worked out. So
it didn't work out in Chicago. Now that I'm remembering the games, not good. Mm-mm.
Well, also
But
Chicago wasn't
don't
that
you
really good of a team as a whole, I think.
yeah. And don't you
But
think?
still, even though if they're not a good team, when you compare quarterbacks like Justin Fields, who came in after he was injured, difference. You could just see it.
But don't you think that also, you need to play on the quarterback skills, and it looks like just those coaches that had Nick Foles. I mean, maybe they just expected him to be like a pocket passer and just be good that way instead of like figuring out what he's actually good for. And it seems like teams, the ones that struggle, which we know are the Jaguars, they struggle a lot. Chicago, they struggle. I mean, hopefully with this new coach, they turn it around. And the Rams, they struggled before Sean McVay got there. And it seems like they just can't get it right with their quarterbacks, and it seems like they're just trying to like make the quarterbacks do things that they're just not as good at. And maybe Doug Peterson does know. I mean, I'm very interested to see what Doug Peterson's gonna do with Trevor Lawrence, honestly.
So that you said that he should go back to the coach where he found some success, right? It was under Doug Peterson. Under Doug Peterson was Frank Relic.
Right, but I'm sure that they had like conversations.
Frank Wright.
It's
Right?
Frank Wright.
Sorry.
Yeah, right.
So now he's with Colts. So perhaps the success was really him and not Doug Peterson.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, don't you think that they were like behind the closed doors in the meeting rooms talking about what we should do, like in the meeting rooms with the whole team, with the quarterbacks meetings?
Right. I agree, because he was also with Carson, right? And look where Carson's at now.
Yeah, but I think with the Carson situation, it seems that there was some bad mishap that happened with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson. And it just had bad taste, like in both ends, and Carson Wentz just needed to leave there.
Well,
and look, they both left.
Well, I'm actually talking about the Colts. Because Frank was the reason why Carson was one of the reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Why Carson was drafted, then later signed with the Colts, because that's where he ended up going, Frank, and that was only 1 year, and now he's gone to the Commanders. So I don't know if Frank was really the magic that made Carson a good in his rookie year, but I can't say the same for Nick. I don't know if it's going to hit off or it's just going to go south like it did with Carson.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it like I said, the Colts is not a bad situation for him. I just think that also with Doug Peterson over there on the Jaguars, being as a backup over there, it wouldn't be like the bad shot. I mean, we're both in agreement that he should be with coaches that help them succeed.
I'm in agreement with, if you want to win games and be competitive as Colt fans, then go with Matt Ryan. If you want to get a lower draft pick, then go with Nick Foles.
Well, we can all agree that Matt Ryan is going to start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I mean, and Nick Foles, should he be a starter somewhere else? Because
no.
I don't think so.
No.
I think we're all three in agreement that he shouldn't, or did you, Aaron, say that he should?
No, I think he should stay there because he can give competition, and at least give him a shot. I don't think he's really fit for anywhere else.
There with the Colts?
Mm-hmm. It's where I think he has the best shot.
You think he has a shot there against Matt Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's possible. I'm not saying that he will win. I think Matt Ryan is going to end up being starter now that I'm like thinking over it. And I think the Colts are all well, understanding that they picked up Nick Foles as the idea of the Chicago Bears Nick Foles rather than the Philadelphia Eagles Nick Foles. So they're just in their mind, it's like, okay, if Matt Ryan goes down because he is aging, and if he gets, he's not like fragile or anything, but if he goes down, we still have Nick Foles, and that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best thing in the world either. But it's what they could get from that, and they didn't get him for that. Like, it didn't cost them that much because, let's say, like, if they didn't pick up Nick Foles, but they traded for Baker Mayfield by any chance, like, they traded for Baker Mayfield, so they had to give something up. But for Nick Foles, they just had to sign him.
I don't think he has an opportunity against Matt Ryan. I think it's like
I think he has a chance. Everyone has a chance at the end of it. I think Matt Ryan's gonna win, but it's where else could he have gone?
His only chance is if Matt Ryan goes down.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess what I get at the point that Aaron was saying. He does have a chance, but he has to like wow them. It's like a
that's why I'm saying the Colts got him. Yeah. The Colts got him if Matt Ryan goes down.
Yeah.
And that's the competition that we're talking about. If Matt Ryan goes down,
they're thinking that we have some veteran quarterbacks that can take us to that level that we want to, and so
they have plan A and plan B.
Not about getting a new quarterback and seeing how it goes.
Yeah, because you're not going to trade for Sam Darnold. You're not going to trade for Baker Mayfield. You're not going to trade for like mediocre quarterbacks like that. You're going to trade for a veteran.
Right.
And it wasn't even a trade. It was just a pickup, which is great. It's like the best scenario for them. Yeah. Like I said, and I'm pretty sure the Colts are really hyper focused on getting him because that's at least something better than nothing. So I think he could have gone to another team, but I think the Colts were more interested with Foles than Foles was with them, I guess you could say. That's what I think, though.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he does under his old coach, where he found some success.
Yeah, we're not gonna see that.
No,
yes.
No, we're not.
Why not?
This is the backup.
Well, like you said, like Aaron says, you never know.
So
only if Matt Ryan gets injured, and he's been a quarterback that doesn't get injured.
Yeah, he's not known to get injured. When's the last time he missed some games? Matt Ryan injuries.
I don't.
He's had 3 injuries: turf toe, joint sprain, shoulder joint sprain, ankle sprain. The last injury he had was in 2019. So he's not known to get injured, and he takes hits. He takes hits,
and he does take hits. Yeah. So, I really doubt that Nick Foles. I think it's just a realization that he's just a backup quarterback.
Yeah, because of what happened in Chicago. Yeah.
And the other teams.
Yeah. And Jaguars, too, you can include, because after Philadelphia...
He went down with an ugly injury. And
that is true.
He went down.
Yeah, his injury was bad. What was it again? It was a... Oh, my gosh.
It was collarbone.
Yeah. Oh, the collarbone, yeah. Yeah, so I think he probably does know, too, that he's just going to be a backup, and he's okay with it. I'm trying to see how much he got paid for, though. But anyways, yeah. So maybe just ideally, if we just assume that Nick Foles gave in to the backup role, it's the best scenario he could have seen. And with the competitive team, just in case, even though Matt Ryan doesn't get injured. But yeah, anyways, we'll move on with the next subject and talk about the Cardinals. They got their Hard Knocks season the in-season documentary, so that's gonna be cool. And we'll ask the question. What team would you guys like to see in, I guess, Hard Knocks in season. Or whoever.
I mean, for one, I'm not too excited about seeing
Really?
the Cardinals, but
With all that drama going on?
yeah, I'm not. But I'll take what I can get, and not because I'm a fan, okay? But I just think the Jets should have had their shot and been chosen. Not only because, again, I'm a fan, but I think it's just a lot of excitement surrounding the Jets right now, based on the team's draft this year. And I just think how the team is forming to the personality of Robert Saleh as head coach, it would have been exciting to see, especially now that things are starting to pick up under the Joe Douglas GM time, now that it's finally happening after getting rid of all the other GM's problem players. But again, I'll take what I can get. I love seeing the football shows, so if it's the Cardinals, then I'll take it.
I mean, I would say that the team that I would like to see, I would do like some switching around though. For example, I would like to see how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and training camp gets prepared. I just, how the whole Tom Brady, especially how he is now compared to how he was before with the Patriots. Now he's like out of the out of his shell, and he's doing a whole bunch of like press and interviews and just social media, and it just shows how the good of a work ethic he does and how he trains his other players, and it's just a good like an experience for like fans to see how everything is played out. So I really, instead of Detroit Lions, I would like to see the Buccaneers in the training camp. And then for in season, I do like to see some drama there, and maybe the Detroit Lions, because of how they do have a loud coach, and then he did throw his quarterback under the bus in this last season. I mean, I don't mind seeing that drama going on, and if they're losing a lot, like how they're trying to turn things around and how hard it is, and it just shows the drama of how it is. So I think the Detroit Lions, I know that they're in training camp, which, I mean, it doesn't show that much. I mean, they're just getting prepared for the season. I mean, it's like almost any other team, just trying to get prepared and everything. But during the season, I would like to see some drama situations going on. So I wouldn't mind the Detroit Lions there.
That's not that bad, actually. Let me see. You for in season the Detroit Lions, you said?
Yeah, and for training camp, I just want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how Tom Brady like helps out the team and the culture and how everything is. I mean, they do have some players there, and I would think that they would make it fun. I know Gronkowski's not there yet, but I'm sure he'll be back, and it's just gonna make it more entertaining for people.
Who is the training camp Hard Knocks now?
Lions.
The Detroit Lions.
The Lions. And so you prefer the Lions to be the in season?
Yeah, because I think that they're gonna have some drama because they're probably not gonna be winning as much, and there's gonna be like, I don't know, speculation of hot seats now, and also with the coach and also with the quarterback, and we have Hutchinson, the second overall pick there. Everybody thinking that he was gonna be the first overall pick. So, I mean, I think that's interesting drama to see how they're trying to turn it around. That they're having so much trouble trying to turn it around, and they can't, and the difficulties, the fans being all pissed, the GM getting all frustrated. Like, I think that's more interesting. It's like a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are not bad. I kind of like those. I was more so thinking San Francisco and Broncos. I think I would put San Francisco in season and Broncos preseason just because of Russell Wilson. It's an exciting team that's coming up. Their team is slowly getting better. And for San Francisco, it's kind of like the similar scenario with Cardinals, but I think their team it's kind of facing the same troubles, the frustration of they're just kind of they can't they're like stuck. They're running in place, I guess. Like they didn't have a great season last season, like besides going to the playoffs, beating the Cowboys and then losing. But I think it'd be more interesting too because of the whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation too. I think there's plenty of drama there, and same thing with Deebo Samuel. I think.
Well, I think for the 49ers, I think it would be better
also
and training camp though.
The 49ers.
Because they haven't chosen. Deebo Samuel hasn't reported exactly, and they don't know. I mean, they haven't said who's going to be their quarterback. They just say they're all in on Trey Lance, but it's not official like he's going to be the starting quarterback. So if it was a quarterback competition in training camp, I mean, that would be interesting too.
I don't mind the Broncos being either one of them though. I think that's what I would say, because I'm interested in seeing where the Broncos go this season, because they're kind of like a toss up. I think right now, like they could be really good out of nowhere. Like I think they could be underrated, but I also think they could be overrated. So I wouldn't mind fitting Broncos on either or, and I think you might be right. It kind of does sound better having the 49ers in the training camp and then having the Broncos in season.
I don't know if you guys have seen, there's some teams that have their own show, and not all teams have their own show like during training camp. I know the Jets have one, the Panthers have one. But it would be, I mean, they should make it more like more of a thing. It's marketing that's not being used for people to see how it is in training camp for all their teams.
But do you think HBO would like that?
Well, they have the HBO branding and how, I mean, they're just better at doing those types of documentaries.
No way to compete with the HBO show.
Exactly, but if you have something. I mean, if you guys even see the Jets like training camp, it's like what, 15, 20 minutes. It's not that long.
I mean, I see them.
I know. Well, how long are they?
They're about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
25 minutes.
Yeah, so they're like short. And of course, you can't compare them to Houston. I mean, to HBO.
HBO, no, you can't.
So I think that, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, they should. I don't know if it's like Amazon or any other like streaming like businesses that can.
Whatever happened to the Amazon one? It never came back. Did it?
Well, they had the COVID situation that happened.
Yeah, the Cardinals were the last one.
Yeah, and I don't know if they did one for this year. I mean, they haven't announced it. That's a
so the Cardinals had one, and now it's called
All or Nothing.
All or Nothing, yeah. Cardinals were the last one before COVID hit. And I don't think they've ever come back with a show. And here we are again 2 years later with Cardinals again with an in-season.
The last one they did was with the Eagles in 2020. But did that go through?
All or Nothing?
I mean, based on Wikipedia, that might be wrong though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, do you guys remember the Cardinals being the last one?
I remember.
No, so
I remember it.
Maybe it was a good big impact on you because first it was the Arizona Cardinals in 2016.
Well, it was.
Then 2017 was the Rams. 2018 was the Cowboys. 2019 was the Panthers.
Cowboys again.
And 2020 were the Eagles.
I'm just bitter because the Jets haven't been chosen since 2010.
And that was with Hard Knocks. Yeah. So, yeah, they haven't done an NFL one. I don't know what their plans are since the 2020 season. I know they branched out the All or Nothing, the Amazon, to do like soccer teams. I think they did rugby as well.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy those so much.
Well, yeah, I don't know there, but yeah, those would be my selections.
And Yams, what was your teams again? It was
Well, I didn't mention anything on the question was just in season.
In season, but you can also say training camp. I mean,
Well, let me think. Training camp. I think I would like to see the Broncos. I think that one's a good one.
yeah.
Why do you guys both say Broncos compared to Tampa
It's an
Bay?
interesting team because, I mean, Tampa Bay.
I've seen enough of Tom Brady. Come on. You know my answer.
It's just, I don't know. I don't find the team as interesting as the Broncos. You know, it's a young team with a veteran quarterback that it still has, you know, a chance to prove himself and win another Super Bowl.
The problem that I have with that is that if it's during the training camp, I mean, we're not seeing if it's working or not.
No, we
know?
can say
Like,
that
it's
in
the-
season.
it's-
The in season could be perfect because we could see if it works.
Well,
Because
Jam right now said training camp, didn't you?
Yeah, training camp would be Broncos, and in season would be my Jets.
Why? But yeah, the Broncos. I mean, they're just gonna be getting ready for the season, trying to they're not gonna know if Russell Wilson is their guy and whatever pieces they put around him, if it's working or anything like that. They're just practicing, and so I like to see a little bit of drama, and that's why. I mean, I don't mind the 49ers there, and I do, and I'm just a Brady fan, so I did pick him to be in the training camp just to show how a really, 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 really good quarterback does the culture for the team and how he teaches everybody. It just shows how other quarterbacks can just look at that as an example.
So for you, drama in a team is undecided teams with undecided quarterbacks, because
or hot seats. There
Or on
could
the
be
hot
some,
seat.
yeah, or coaches that are in the hot seat. I mean, you know that time when the Cleveland Browns I think they were in Hard Knocks, and they had Hugh Jackson and they were just struggling, and I enjoyed it. I remember that Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, which I didn't think he did such a bad job in Kansas City. I think he was prematurely let go. But I remember that he was even getting frustrated with the head coach. So it's just that type of drama that I want to see.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, obviously, there's not a quarterback situation in the Broncos, but it is interesting to see that they finally have a quarterback, and to see how that team chemistry starts to build with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Didn't a wide receiver get injured, and then the one's facing legal trouble?
Yep, Jerry Judy, no.
Jerry Judy, yeah.
But he got like
Sorry. Speaking of legal problems, was there news out today about Dwayne is his name not Haskins or Doskins?
You mean the quarterback that passed away?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything. What happened?
Well, I mean, it might be unconfirmed information, by the way, but apparently he was under the influence when he was walking the freeway.
Well, you said it was unconfirmed, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm seeing some reports here. It says Dwayne Haskins was drinking heavily hours before fatal accident, and that came from Yahoo Sports, Miami Herald, ESPN, and The Root. So, yeah, I mean, poor guy.
Either way,
Yeah.
it's tragic. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's crazy. But wait,
I think,
what?
I know. I would just. It's because when they did the report on it, I don't know. Do you guys remember the time that the incident happened? It was like
at 4 a.m. or like sometime around some really odd hours.
So that when they reported, because they said early that day, and when the media says early that day, we're talking about 2, 3, 4 in the morning and stuff like that. And I don't remember the time, but I do remember that it was really early, and I'm like, well, why is he out that late or early, if you want to call that? And I mean, that was just my only question of what the situation was there. Why was he doing late? Or maybe that's normal because I'm not a football player. Maybe they just train or exercise really late. I don't know. But I mean, I guess we had a little bit of insight there, which I mean, it's still tragic.
Well, yeah, it really is. But I just saw something, relating back to the topic about these documentaries. You know how we were talking about the All or Nothing series?
Yeah.
They're moving. It seems like they're doing Arsenal, so they're going to football or soccer, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe they found their market.
Maybe
I mean, I'm sure that there's more soccer fans around the world, so I mean, maybe that just made the decision. But I'm sure that they have the money to do NFL and soccer. So
it seems like they have a
deal?
lot of series like all over the place. They have soccer, football, or like hockey. I'm seeing college football. So it seems like they got it for different sports, and their last season was the Eagles. And then, but it has a 3-star rating on Amazon. That was in 2020, the 7.5 on IMDb. And I'm not seeing any news on the 2022, the one upcoming. So that's interesting. Maybe for them, COVID is like still in the way or something. But I mean, Hard Knocks is doing it, but I don't know their rules either. So it's interesting.
I think they just found their niche in soccer, and they probably won't. Maybe their focus is more bringing on games to the Amazon Prime, but maybe not the show.
Last time they did it was with Juventus. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they have in many sports, but I don't think they're focusing on NFL right now. Because I mean,
it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
But sticking on the topic, so if we go based on what Andy says, teams that are undecided with quarterbacks. So if there is any slight competition, then it's really just San Francisco, where their quarterback, it's pretty obvious we don't know who's starting.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, and Andy put it in a great form. Yeah, it's training camp to see, that like that beginning of like how the drama starts, or how it's like, forming up to be. And it's a great idea to do it for training camp, and then just have the Broncos in season, because they're a coin flip this season to see if they're going to be really good, average, or, I mean, I think they could be really good or bad, but who knows?
I think they'll be really good.
Yeah, they're definitely capable.
And then teams that are on the hot seat, well, Cardinals is a hot seat.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it. And I think that's why I thought it was interesting, because there's a couple of questions that need to be answered in the season, and we get to see, what happens to them, because Yams, you were saying, I think it was like some other episode, about how you noted that the Cardinals start off hot and then they get worse, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, they get cold.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they definitely need to have like a hot start, because later in the seasons they start to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, I'm not upset with this choice with the Cardinals. I think they're fine. I think eventually I'd like to see the Broncos. And I mean, I think it would have been better for this season, because who knows how it's going to be for next season. Maybe next season won't be as interesting, but yeah, they could have gone with a lot. It's a very tough choice. I mean, when you're going over it, because I'm sure they asked the same questions, like, why would this team be a great pick? And they definitely have the reasons.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still think
obvious.
I mean, yeah, the Cardinals, they were announced as the in season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last time, remind me, who was the one that was selected for the in season?
Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah.
I don't think I even finished watching.
No, I didn't finish it either.
Yeah, because it was throughout the season, so it kind of makes it a little hard. We have jobs and everything, but I mean, you have Monday Night Football, you have Thursday Night Football, You have Saturday college games. You have Sunday football. So it makes it harder. And with training camp, well,
it wasn't exciting for you to continue watching then.
I would still watch. I think the most boring Hard Knocks that I saw was a long time ago. They put the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was just a bore fest. It was just bad, and it wasn't. I think they put them like twice. I don't remember which one it was, but the one that not the one with Chad Ochocinco was in there. Chad Johnson. It was this one he had already left. It was a bore fest.
So, actually, wasn't the Cowboys chosen to be a Hard Knocks?
It was a preseason.
That was last year, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't have any quarterback situations. They didn't have really anyone on the hot seat.
But it was Dak Prescott's return after the big injury.
Oh, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, just like you, as you're a Jets fan, there's Cowboy fans everywhere, so it's just easier.
It's easier to make that. Yeah, they probably didn't. Really
I'm just bringing the points here. There was no one on the hot seat.
Yeah, I know, but when you're looking,
but it was still exciting, right?
Yeah, you gotta see it from a fan perspective
marketing.
for that team to see like the scales of how exciting are their situations and how you want to see it.
You can blame Jerry Jones for that. You can blame Jerry Jones for that.
So he bribed them to have them for the preseason.
He just loves, he loves his Cowboys on the TV and everything he can get. I mean, that's the success that the Cowboys have had, unfortunately, that they still bring in revenue on TV. I mean, if the fans would boycott it and stop buying their stuff, maybe like when they see starting like Jerry Jones and the family start seeing like dips in their revenue and their purchases, or maybe not even going to the games, that's when maybe they'll make like some type of like drastic change. Because the only drastic change that I can think of that the Cowboys can even do for fans to be like maybe a little have some, I don't know, a little positivity is if Jerry Jones and his son Stephen Jones like back off and they hire a GM, which by the way, it's not like it's so easy to do. I mean, there's so many teams that have GM after GM after GM and they don't get anywhere. But they've had this GM as Jerry Jones like forever, so they were like something fresh. So that's the only thing that I can think of. But I mean, since Jerry Jones doesn't have that many years left, I really doubt that he's going to do it. I think it's going to have to be after when Stephen Jones get the reins.
The biggest thing for me is I feel like half of the fan base is just kind of clueless about every season. You know, they don't know that much and they just go to the games just because they're Cowboys. You know, and if they're good enough, they're good enough. But I just feel like the fan base is so big that they have a significant amount of casual watchers that just watch it and think that they're a good team most of the time because they don't play horribly. They haven't played that like really bad since like Jason Garrett, I think, or like when they had like something less than like 8, 7, 6 wins, you know.
My point is the fact that there was no hot seat dilemma here, right, with the Cowboys. The only thing that was the biggest thing is what you said is Dak Prescott was coming back from his nasty injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it was a lot of the talk during the season when it happened.
Yeah. Well, they're always in the talk, Aaron.
Exactly. So anything. Imagine the star.
Oh, Dak Prescott got a paper cut.
The star quarterback. So like his
we
whole
all
ankle
know,
got messed up. So of course it's gonna be big talk. Not that like
we all know that that's why the Cowboys are hated too. Either you love them or you hate them, and that's just because they're just there all the time, and it is really annoying. So I understand.
Okay, but I think besides that, I mean, who knows how to decide the way they go about picking teams, but I don't think the Cardinals are bad. I think they're a good pick, but we'll move on from that and go to the South. So you know how Andy mentioned the Buccaneers being you said the preseason, right? we're going to be talking about the NFC South and their projections. Who's going to go to the playoffs? How are we ranking them from like who's going to be first, second, third, fourth this season? So it's going to be the Panthers, Buccaneers, Falcons, and Saints, NFC South. Whoever wants to go first, how would you rank these guys? Who's going to the playoffs and, who isn't?
Well, I think the obvious answer here is the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, I see them winning the division. They were obviously in the playoffs last year. Then Tom Brady retired for like 2 days and came back. Pretty much, he probably saw that the NFC just was open, right? So I do see them coming in and taking over the NFC South. Obviously, they have Tom Brady, who's an elite quarterback. Mike Evans, a good wide receiver. Godwin. I think they recently added Russell Gage. I'm not too sure about that. I had to confirm. So, honestly, all they have to do is get their crazy tight end back, and they're back in business. And they're back in business. And then 2, I have the Saints here, just because they still have Winston. They added Odell, I think. They recently just signed, and we talked about it a couple of episodes ago, Tyrann Mathieu to their defense. They drafted a wide receiver, Olave. But I still have the Buccaneers here as a strong favorite just because of Tom Brady. The Falcons, I just don't know where they're at right now, and then they just got Malik Willis in the draft. They're probably going to be like in a trial error kind of mode, so they're probably in a rebuild mode. I just don't see where the Falcons land. Maybe 3, maybe. I don't know. Panthers, this one's kind of easy. I think they're 4th. Matt Rule might be his last year. He is in the hot seat. I don't see any huge improvements coming from the Panthers. I know they drafted a quarterback, I think in the 3rd round. I forgot his name. Matt Corral, I think. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of quarterback competition there with Sam Darnold. I just don't see anything happening with this team. I don't even know if Christian McCaffrey will stay healthy another season. He's been injured every season. So, at least that's my take. Panthers, Saints, Falcons, and then Panthers. Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons, and then the Panthers.
And you don't have anybody, just the Buccaneers going to the playoffs?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know anything about the Saints. They could, they don't. They don't have Sean Payton.
So, I mean, for me, it's just the Buccaneers. It's the easy. And I think that's one of the reasons Tom Brady came back. Like, yeah, maybe he left and he was like, okay, I'm done with this. But then he saw like the competition, first of all, overall through the NFC. He only has Green Bay to worry about big time. And the Rams, which kicked them out. So, I mean, other than that, it's kind of hard for anybody else to beat the Buccaneers. So it's easy to say the Buccaneers. I mean, you have Tom Brady, just gets you in that level, even though if he's 50-something years old, he's almost 50. I think he just turned 46, if I'm not mistaken, recently. So, it's...
Are you sure?
I think so.
46?
Yeah.
No, he has to be like 44.
Let me see. Tom Brady.
Hey Siri. I'm just kidding. I think
never mind. 44.
44.
I don't know why I'm thinking 46.
And I was like, damn.
He is turning 45 in August. Interesting. I guess I'm getting confused with somebody else. But anyways, I mean, 2 years, whatever. 44, 46. So when he starts the season, he's going to be 45. 1 year less than what I was saying. And he is going to be beating Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, and Mariota. Easy. Those quarterbacks are just like, who's the best quarterback? This guy just beats them. Like,
who's
easy.
the best quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say even for the whole league, but That's another conversation. But yeah, it just that team is just out of all that division just makes it easy for them to be the number one. Number two, it would be the Panthers just because of the position players that they have. They started sort of well last year, but then, I mean, they just need a quarterback because Sam Darnold, I mean, hopefully this second year he does better because he really believes in himself. I remember that he was in a podcast recently saying that he feels like he's a really good quarterback, and so he should be a franchise quarterback. So I mean, hopefully we can see something like that because he does have DJ Moore, he has McCaffrey, he has Robbie Anderson, so he does have a team there. And the defense is not bad as well. And then I will move to the... It's because it's kind of hard. It's a really big... It's 50... I mean, I would call them kind of equal, the Falcons and the Saints, because they're having a new coach with the Saints, so we don't know what's going to happen there. Kamara is gone, and with the Falcons, I mean, Calvin Ridley, I don't even know what's up with that guy. I know that he needed some time off because of I don't know, to be better healthy wise, and then he had some gambling issues. So I don't know what the situation is. But if I had to pick, I would say the Saints and then the Falcons. And I would say the Saints because I believe Jameis Winston is better than Mariota. And they still have Hill as the other quarterback to make those types of plays to score some touchdowns in some situations. And they also have Michael Thomas. He might return, even though he's also a problem. So it just makes it easy to just make these picks on this division. So I just have the Buccaneers going to the playoffs. Nobody else. There is a small chance that maybe the Panthers, but that's all up to Darnold if he can do something. If not, they're just gonna skip to Matt Corral. They're the quarterback that they drafted.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Because I mean. It's obvious that I think the Buccaneers are going to the playoffs. But after that, I don't think... Oh, man. Because, yeah, like you said, with the Saints, the Alvin Kamara situation sucks, so that brings them down. That definitely doesn't help. And then it's just a bigger question with the new coach. I think we might see the Panthers maybe taking number 2 and then the Saints.
You guys are nuts.
Explain, lady, why?
He made a good point.
Well, look, they beefed up their offense. Not beefed up, but they got Jarvis Landry.
Okay.
And then they also drafted that wide receiver Olav. They got Tyrann Mathieu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, along with Marcus May, who I know is a good safety from the Jets.
A little above average safety.
A little above average safety, and is good from the Jets. Maybe he stood out in the Jets team, like, Jamal Adams stood out, right? He stood out in a bad team. Maybe that could have been the one.
Don't you think there's Saints fans that are just questioning what is the Saints doing? Do they really think that Winston is going to be their franchise quarterback to take him? I mean, I know nobody's going to say, yeah, let's just lose a bunch of games and let's just throw this season so we can get a good quarterback next year. But I mean, these signings, they are questionable because they're not horrible players, but that's why we had that in that previous episode of why Tyrann Mathieu went to the Saints. First, because he wants to go home. That's where he's from. But it seems like maybe he's just like, you know what? If no team really wants me, like I'm just gonna be.
Well, he's still
play just a little 1 or maybe 2 seasons, collect as much cash as I can at home, and then just retire.
He's still good.
And then Landry, like, what? I mean, well, really? You put him really that high for them to be like, oh, now they got Landry? Oh, my God, now they're going to be doing so much better.
No, not so much better. But, I mean, I wouldn't completely rule them out as, oh, you're going to be Panthers are going to take their place. Come on. Panthers have a questionable quarterback in Sam Darnold. The moment he throws his first interception, they're going to call it for his head and put this Matt Corral who has no experience. There is rumors that supposedly they're trying to sign Odell Beckham.
See, that doesn't even excite me either. Like, what? What did Odell Beckham do in the Browns?
He scored that one quarterback in the Super Bowl that helped them win the Super Bowl.
Oh, and then he didn't come in the second half, right?
Because he went down with an injury.
Okay, that's what happens to him. That's not exciting. That doesn't put him in another level. And then you need a good quarterback to throw these passes to. So you can't compare Matthew Stafford to Winston.
I just don't see that Carolina, who finished in 5-12 last year, to just come up and take number 2. And New Orleans finished last year 9-8. Especially with Matt Rule doing the crazy decisions that he's doing because he's on the hot seat. When coaches are on the hot seat, they do stupid decisions.
What crazy decision has he made?
Well, he was back and forth last year with Walker and Sam Darnold.
I mean, that's because Sam Darnold got injured.
No, he benched him. Besides getting injured, he benched him.
Well, yeah, but we don't know if it's because he didn't think he was going to be ready. But yeah, deep down, he really wanted to just win games, of course. But they also... I don't know. I don't know how Matt Corral's going to do. I mean, the Saints, they have Andy Dalton as Jameis Winston's backup.
I just don't trust Matt Rule to go at it again because they went with Christian McCaffrey 1 year, right? Injury. That whole year, they should have come up with a plan. What would happen if Christian McCaffrey were to go down again? Right? To have a good backup, good, solid backup plan. And yet, they did not. They were not able to do something in his absence. They were completely lost without him. So here's year 3. We'll see if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, this team is going to be well and okay if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. If he goes down and this team is not prepared to run the team without him, they're back down to where they were.
Well, here's the situation. Kamara seems like he's gonna play because his hearing has been postponed again. We just don't know for how long, and it just can cut it off whenever. So, just because of that, I would put Saints in 3rd place. So Buccaneers, Panthers.
Did you say 3rd place?
Yeah,
oh,
I still say Panthers. I mean,
you know what? Let's make a bet right now.
What do you want to do?
That the Saints are 2nd.
That Saints are 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How much you want to?
Okay, so
and
what about? Hold on. So would the strength of schedule matter for you guys? If you,
I mean, it matters. Yeah, I mean, we can go through the list of like the teams, but
it's the Saints have a harder schedule than the Panthers, and that's all I'm gonna say. The Saints actually are tied for 7th, and then it's the Panthers tied for 12th.
So it's not like a huge jump. It does make a little bit of a difference, but it's not a huge jump. But that just wins my case a little bit more. So I mean, if you want to make a bet, I'm all for it.
We'll talk offline.
No, let's put the bet right now and let's set it on 4th. So we can just do it small if you want to. $20.
$20.
$20, and well, the good thing is that it's recorded here, so we don't need a contract or anything.
Okay, $20.
So $20. I say the Panthers. You know, and what really hurts me is that that I do think that, I mean, just because of Kamara playing, and I don't know when his situation's gonna happen or what's gonna happen with him. That's the only thing that can help you out. But we'll see.
And I think what's also going to help me out is that the Panthers are a mess of a team. But we'll see. We'll see at the end of the year. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think we know more. Well, not more. I think we expect more from the Panthers than we do from the Saints, because the Saints, again, they have a whole jumble of mess going on. And for the Falcons, I mean, the Falcons, I would tie them between the Saints more. That's why I'm thinking. I don't know. There's just something about the Panthers. I don't think they'll do that bad this season. I mean, I'm trying to see where the Falcons rank in the strength of schedule, and I think they're on the higher end of it. They are... Can't find them. Falcons, they are 9th, so they're in the middle. They're behind the Saints, but in front of the Panthers. And I would say their team is a lot younger, and we have lower expectations from them. I think the Panthers is... I don't think I have a low expectation for them, but I also don't think they're going to do amazing things. They're just going to be average. Just like how the Saints kind of were last season. They finished 9-8. The Panthers finished 5-12 last season. Didn't look that good. But I think with Sam Darnold having a little bit more of like internal anger that people think he's not good enough, maybe it'll spark something nice and he'll do better. Who knows? But I think they're more capable of having a better season than the Saints, because they just have a better roster right now, as long as Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, because Saints lost Alvin Kamara, and that was a huge recipe to their offense. And I don't know if you guys mentioned Michael Thomas, right? He's not coming back, right?
That's also another situation. It's just a total mess. How can you trust a team that's just going by all of these situations?
Yeah, exactly. And the Panthers don't have that situation.
It's a new coach too, so it might be even a horrible situation there too.
That's why we're saying that the Saints are a little bit more risky, because they just have their situations keep getting worse and worse. One thing after another, it just keeps stacking up on each other, and the Panthers they're just like, well, we're just trying to get better, but the Saints are like, no, we're getting worse. Our probably best coach of all time in that team is, he left. The best quarterback of all time on that team left. And
I do see that Michael Thomas is gonna play, and 9 days ago he was actually practicing with Olave, working together. So yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, if Kamara and Michael Thomas, there's no issues. It's just also the quarterback situation that we don't know. I mean, who's better in your guys' opinion, Sam Darnold or Winston?
Well, they both throw a lot of interceptions, so I don't know.
I'm gonna say Winston, and not by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Why's that?
Why is that?
Yeah, why is that? Well, why is Winston just barely better?
It's just he does more. Even though the thing is that Winston is just a little bit more aggressive, and he does make some plays. And with Sam Darnold, it seems like he's just running around everywhere, and then he throws some a lot of questionable throws that even his team has getting really frustrated with him. So with Winston, I mean, he has a little bit more experience than Sam Darnold, for once, and two, I just think he's just a little bit more talented, and just to figuring things out. He does take more risks, and that's something that a lot of people wanted from Sam Darnold to do, throw the ball. He was just getting sacked after sacked, and just throw the ball. There's some times that he has some looks that he could have taken, and he doesn't take them. It's just, that's the frustrating part, but only by a little, and it's also because of the interceptions.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. I think, I mean, if we compare both careers, yeah, Jameis Winston has shown better talent than Sam Darnold. And even though Sam Darnold doesn't have that much experience as Winston, but I don't know, it's just Sam Darnold right now, he hasn't progressed that much. If anything, it just seems like he's not really. The notch isn't moving, I would say. It's just he's staying in the same place. Because, I mean, the time he's had... So it's been... What was it? It's been 1 year, right? That he's been with the Panthers? This is going to be his second year?
Yeah, it's only been 1 year. So we can just put that aside, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Winston has a lot more experience. We know more about him.
Yeah, he has a lot more experience. But that's why also I'm putting Panthers... I'm just giving... him a little bit of slack that he only had 1 year with the Panthers with the new system, so this is second year. This is his time to improve. Sam Darnold is also, it's his time to shine, or it's over for him. Just like Carson Wentz, it's his year to shine or it's over for him.
Well, looking at the quarterback rating, Sam Darnold is ranked lower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would assume so. I would say that, that Winston is a little bit better. Does it show like the ranking between Winston and him?
No, it doesn't. The thing is that Sam Darnold, I just think he's shown what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He can just show what he's done. So, and I might be speaking biasly here because he was the New York Jets quarterback, but I've seen him and I've seen his flashes, and he does really well when the game plan is right. But being a quarterback for New York, it's hard, and if you're not good, your career is very short. And I think also Tampa Bay is where Jameis Winston, he had his fair shot there, many years before Tom Brady came. So, just because he's been here longer, I would say Sam Darnold has the edge, but not by a lot either. But they could almost be just the same.
Mm-hmm. I think they're more so the same. I feel like if you were to compare the stats, at least just by watching them, they kind of have like a similar, they're kind of in the similar area because they both throw a lot of interceptions, but they also have some really good plays. So it's a lot of risk and reward there. I think I would give, like Andy said, I would give Jameis Winston the edge there, only because simply he's been longer in the NFL than Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold could still like potentially increase his like ceiling. Because I don't know if he's necessarily hit his ceiling yet. I think he's just, I don't know, because his time with the Jets, you could argue that it wasn't fair for him because the team was still rebuilding and there is a lot of holes, mainly with the O-line. But I'm not, because he spent how many years with the Jets? It was like 3, right? 2? No, it was 2 years, right?
No, it was 3 years.
3
years.
years.
3 years with the Jets.
Yeah, 3 years.
Would you say that's a fair shot for him?
Yeah, that's a fair shot. But I know, he was given a really bad situation.
It was exactly.
But for any quarterback that gets drafted and he needs to show some improvement, it's 3 years. So even though he was given a crappy situation, he should have still shown a little bit of
no, and he got worse. He got worse. But
yeah,
we'll see this year. He has the same coach in Matt Rule, so you give your quarterback 2 years, and And if there's an improvement, there's an improvement, right? But back in New York Jets, Adam Gase, the head coach, destroyed the team. So everyone got worse. Everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, we'll see with them. It's going to be interesting. It feels like to me there's quite a bit of, like, a significant amount of teams with weird quarterback situations right now. I feel like there might be like a lot of changes in the next few years, but we'll see with that. Yeah. So, do you guys have anything else to say? I think that's gonna be it for this episode.
Nope, that's it. Looking forward to my $20 at the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Andy, do you have anything else to say?
No. Just winning extra cash, easy money is really, it's fun.
For sure, yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's gonna conclude this episode for Football Tailgaters. Follow us on our socials. I still can't memorize them. Andy, can you say them?
At football_tailgaters and Instagram. And also on YouTube. Yeah, right now we're just a lot more on Instagram than any others.
Okay, cool. Nice. All right, yeah. Well, until next time. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.